Hey there, and welcome back to another video. Learning songs is one of the most fun things you can do as a musician, and it's really cool to be able to learn different melodies, improvise over songs, and just build up your repertoire of songs to play. One of the tricky things, though, is figuring out ways to play over different songs. Some of them can be really obvious how to play, some can be a little less obvious. My goal in this 3 levels of series is I'm going to break down songs so you can play them whether you're at a more beginner level, an intermediate level, or a more advanced level. No matter where you are in your musical journey, you will be able to use this video and my other videos in the 3 levels of series to learn new songs, be able to play the melodies, be able to improvise over them in multiple different ways, and be able to memorize them and just have fun playing these new songs. Since today's the last day of November, I figured let's kick off the holiday season by doing a holiday tune. So this is going to be 3 levels of playing Oh Christmas Tree. Like always, there is a PDF worksheet that goes along with this, completely free to you. The only thing you need to do is go to the top of the description down below, click that link. I'll also put the same link in the pinned comment, or you can go directly to davepollack.com/3 levels Oh Christmas Tree. That's the number 3 levels Oh Christmas Tree. Right before I dive into the tune and teach you how to actually play it, as this video is coming out, today is Friday, November 30th. That's Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. I have a great Black Friday deal for you that only goes a couple more days. It's called the Ultimate Jazz Bundle. What it is a combination of 2 of my courses, Simple Steps to Improvisation Success and How to Learn Jazz Standards. These 2 courses are really going to teach you how to learn new tunes, learn anything you want related to jazz standards and playing them, memorizing them, and then you can take Simple Steps to Improvisation Success to learn every step of the way to improvise not only over these jazz songs, but any song you come across. If you've ever been on my website store, you know I sell these 2 courses individually, and if you look at the prices of them compared to what this bundle price is, you'll see why this is a no-brainer. But you have to act fast because this Sunday is the last day, December 1st, that you can get it. After that, it goes away, and then it'll just be back to individual courses. To get more info about the Ultimate Jazz Bundle, all you have to do is go to davepollack.com/jazz bundle. I'll also put a link to that in the description down below as well. Now let's jump into Oh Christmas Tree. Like I said, there is a PDF worksheet that goes along with this. I'm actually going to dive into that now to show you the first step in playing this song. All right, so as you see, we're here inside of the worksheet. It's called 3 levels of playing Oh Christmas Tree, of course. And don't worry if you don't play a C instrument, like you play alto or tenor sax, because all 4 of the keys, C instruments, E-flat instruments, B-flat instruments, and bass clef are all in the same worksheet PDF. It's just different pages. I did that instead of having multiple downloads, especially if you play multiple instruments, so you don't have to have separate PDFs. It's all combined into one. I'm going to be going over the C instruments sheet just because it's concert pitch. It's going to be easy to say the different chords and different notes and everything, no matter what instrument you play. So before I even get into level 1 of playing the tune, I just wrote out probably the most square, boring, dry, standard way to play this melody in 4/4. Sometimes you'll see it in 3/4. I like to play it, especially if we're doing a jazz swing setting, which this is, in 4/4. So as you see here, the melody is written out, and it's basically just a 16-bar melody with a 1 pickup note in concert F. I did put the jazz changes above it, just so you know what they are, and that'll come into play a little later. Now what I'm going to do is play this melody exactly how it's written. Once again, this is technically level 0, I guess. This is just your base starting point. Whenever you're learning a new song, yes, I talk about reference recordings and listening to different versions. I go into that in depth in my How to Learn Jazz Standards course, but for now, we're just talking about playing this one song. What I'm going to do is just play this melody exactly how I wrote it on the sheet. Check it out. All right, so there's the melody. That's basically as squared off as I can play it, how it's written on the sheet. If that's where you're at to start, that's not a problem. That's why I called it kind of step 0. That's the baseline. If that's where you're at, that's cool, but know that this video, I will help you get beyond that. And no, it's not going to be a bunch of super complex things that you have to do. Sure, you can go as far as you want, but you can get from this point to a couple other steps ahead, no problem at all. Once you are able to just play the standard melody the way it's written or the way you've heard it or whatever, now we're going to go to step 1, which is going to be just embellish the melody. What do I mean by embellish the melody? Well, right now, all I want you to do is take the exact same notes, the overall form of the melody, but you're just going to vary the rhythms, the articulations, and the dynamics. So you're not going to really be adding a lot of stuff to it. I don't need you to add chromaticism, extra notes, this, that. If you're more advanced and you want to do that and you're going through the step-by-step process, sure, you can do it. But know that you can just take the exact notes that are written on the sheet, just change the rhythms, maybe displace it by a little bit, start a little later, start a little early, repeat the note a few times, play it a little faster, a little slower. That's going to be a great way for you to transition from just playing the stock standard melody into then creating your own versions of it. There's kind of two separate parts to step one here, so maybe 1A and 1B. 1A would be just, like I said, just changing the rhythms, articulations, dynamics, but keeping all the exact same notes in the same order all the way through. Then what you can do, kind of step 1B, is you can actually use the melody to improvise and to create your own solo, which is embellish the melody even further. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the first type, 1A. I'm going to embellish just the melody. Then I'm going to, in the second chorus, embellish the melody again, but I'm really going to add some different things to it. I am going to change some notes. I'm going to jump different octaves, but you're still going to hear the core of the melody in there. The great thing about this is, like I said, it's starting to transition away from only melody into solo, but because you're basing it on the original melody, it will, hopefully, most likely, be a more melodic solo because it has that melody content in there. Check it out. All right, once you're able to do that, you played the melody standard, you embellished it a little bit, maybe you made your own solo based on the melody, just like I just did. Now we're going to go on to step 2. And this one is going to be just improvising over the tune, but in a controlled way. And the way I like to do this is find key centers. And here's the thing about this tune. Sure, there are a bunch of different things that we're going to talk about in step 3, and there are technically different key centers, stuff like this, but the overall key center, there's one of them. It's just the key of the 1 major. If you're looking at the chords and you're looking at the sheet and you're going, but this note, this note, this note, pause for a second. We're taking a very simple approach to this. This song, as I wrote it, is in concert F major. You can play it in any major key you want. If you're playing it in F major, like I am, you can quite literally play F major the entire time. Yes. Trust me on this. You can literally play the notes, the 7 notes of concert F major, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, and E for every single measure. Sure, are there certain measures where there might be a note that clashes based on these jazz chords? Yes, but if the overall melodic structure is there and you're thinking about the original melody and you know where the phrases are, it's just 4/4 by phrases in this tune, and you use the notes of concert F major, it will work as long as you're using good non-note musical elements like I talk about in basically every video I've ever done. Good phrases, good rhythms, you play in tune, you have a good sound, good articulations, good dynamics, stuff like that. If you've gone through the melody already, you already have built up that stuff. Now we're just gonna improvise using concert F major. I'm gonna do that now and show you how it actually works. Check this out. See, I told you it would work. I'm not a liar. And I want you to really try that out for yourself. If you're like, I need to play all this stuff and there's all these crazy chords, you can just find the major key centers, if possible, in a tune, or minor key centers. But in this tune, it's just the key of the one all the way through. Now I want to go on to step 3, the final step. And yes, this is where we're going to start really digging into the chords. And for that, I do want to jump back into the worksheet. So here we go. For this final step, we're going to be focusing on 2 main things: voice leading and 2-5-1s. So when you look through this tune, you might be a little confused. There's all these minor 7, flat 5, all this stuff. I'm going to break it down pretty simply for you. So in the very beginning, we have F major. That's the key of our 1. Then it goes up to the diatonic 2. You can just think of that as another basically F major chord starting on a different note, like a mode of a major scale. You have diatonic chords as well. Then we have this A minor 7 flat 5, D7 flat 9 to G minor. This is what's called a minor 2-5, or minor 2-5-1 in this case, because it does go to the 1. How do you know it's a minor 2-5? Well, what gives it away is that it's a minor 7 flat 5 chord, also called half diminished, going to a dominant 7 flat 9, and then it actually does go to the 1. So whenever you have a chord and then a root up a fourth and then up a fourth, that is a 2-5-1, usually in some way, especially if it's minor to dominant, or in this case, minor 7 flat 5 to dominant 7 flat 9. I did an entire video about minor 2-5s. I'll put that link in the description below as well. I'm not going to get into specifically that chord phrase now, but if you want to go check out that video, that'll explain exactly how to play over this. So we have our minor 2-5-1, but here's the thing, right when it gets to G minor, this G minor is the 1 from the chords previously, but it actually turns into a 2-5-1 in F major. The keen amongst you might notice that this is what we call sometimes a 3-6-2-5-1. Remember, music theory. Music theory. What comes first in those 2 words? Music or theory? Music always comes first. The theory, the naming of the chords, the 2-5-1, the 3-6-2-5, that comes after the sounds. So don't get so hung up in the theory part of it. Okay, just make sure you are focused on the music. But yes, we use theory to describe what's there. So we have 1, 2, then 3-6-2-5-1. Then we have a 5 chord that brings us back to 1, 2, same exact chords here. So the first 4 bars basically repeat. Then for the third chunk of 4 bars, there's our minor 2-5-1 to G minor, and then we have our major 2-5-1 to F major. By the way, along with the minor 2-5, I did a whole series on major 2-5-1s. I'll link all those below as well. Tons of resources for you here on YouTube, completely free. So as I build the repertoire of videos and talk about things, I'm always going to be referencing other videos I did. So make sure to check those out if you have questions. After the major 2-5-1 to F, then we have another 5, then 1, 2, 3, 6, 2-5-1 again. So basically you have 2 main 2-5s in the song. You have a major 2-5-1 to F major and a minor 2-5-1 to G minor. Once again, go check out those videos. It'll explain lines and all this different stuff. On the bottom of each of the pages here, I put the chord tones for every chord just so you can have them. All right. It's not because you have to play every chord tone. It's not because you need to just sit there and outline them. And that is a great way to go through it. But I just wanted you to have it because in step 3, like I said, we're talking about voice leading and we're talking about 2-5-1s. So if you go watch those 2-5-1 videos, you'll have a really good grasp on how to play through major and minor 2-5s. Voice leading, do I have something for that? Well, there's a bunch of stuff here on YouTube, but if you want to go even further with voice leading, once again, completely free, not selling you anything in this thing right here. It's a free masterclass called The Best Way to Create Melodic Solos. That's also linked in the description. I go through my 6-step voice leading process. So you can talk about lower neighbors, upper neighbors, enclosures, all different types of stuff to voice lead into chord tones. So when I say we're focused on voice leading and 2-5s, that says we're focused on how to transition horizontally between chords and land on them properly using chord tones, and then also finding chord phrases of 2, 5, and 1 to create our solo. What does this sound like when you have someone who's playing voice leading, 2-5s, and admittedly, yes, I do some other stuff and some substitutions and whatnot. In that 2-5-1 series, I do talk about substitutions and alterations. So if you go through that whole series, there's a lot of stuff there for you. Here's what it sounds like. I hope you enjoy my recording of Oh Christmas Tree Level 3. All right, I hope this dive into Oh Christmas Tree really helps you learn this song if you didn't know before, or it helps you build on what you already know about this tune. Breaking things down into smaller chunks like this, into levels, is a great way to learn any song. And you can take the skills that I taught you in this video or the other 3 levels videos and apply it to other tunes that you're working on. Speaking of other tunes, if there are some other songs you want to see me do a 3 levels video on, please put those in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Don't forget to download the PDF worksheet for this, links down in the description. Check out the 251 videos, my free masterclass, all that's linked in the description. And remember that there's only a couple days left in my Ultimate Jazz Bundle Black Friday deal. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.